Grace and peace, Black family. This is Vicky Dillard, your sister with the curly braids. And I want you to get ready for the new Master Elements project, The Spear and the Shield.
This vaccine isn't experimental. It's like a dandelion. You overlook it for they weird science.
DJ RP Beats and SincereluvdagodCast have taken this time during the pandemic to carefully craft the soundtrack to Black empowerment, with hot tracks like God Mine, featuring Sadat X of the legendary group Brand Nubians.
We never die. I made an ancestral shrine. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen, I'm a law and a person of sincere of the God. That mean your arms too short like Carl Anthony Shaw.
God painted me black.
God painted me black. Thanks for that. I'm a bitch.
A letter to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing.
I say to the ancestors. Dear Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, I just wanted to thank you for all the lessons you left us. So yes, I'm more than grateful.
And the controversial song Buck Breaking God today.
Why every black show they gotta have a transgender? Either I'm crazy or this gotta be a planned agenda.
Get ready, Black family. This is a much needed project. This is The Spear and the Shield.
Celebrate the foundational Black American culture of freedom fighting and resistance with the first annual Arethusa 5K run. This cultural experience will honor our FBA ancestors and icons while harnessing energy from our past to power our future. There will be security at this event to ensure everyone has a safe and enjoyable experience. Arethusa Run is a cultural event for family and friends. Strollers and wheelchairs are welcome. The in-person event will include a free 1-mile fun walk and will be held on December 17th in Tampa, Florida. Unable to make the live event, you can also participate virtually anywhere from December 17th to December 30th. All registered participants will receive the official Arethusa Run finisher medal, t-shirt, and more with the ability to upload their race time to the official site. Live event participants will receive the time race scores, professional finisher photo, video, and your name will be announced as you're welcomed across the finish line. Enjoy the post-race after party and refuel with a traditional FBA breakfast. You can also help us settle fun family debates like sugar or salt and grits. Prepare with family workouts and runs and post on social media using the hashtag ArethusaRun. For registered info and sponsorship opportunities, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Click the link in the bio. Hope to see you all there.
The method that the white man uses, how the white man uses these big guns or Negro leaders against the Black Revolution. They're not a part of the Black Revolution. They're used against the Black Revolution. When Martin Luther King failed to desegregate Albany, Georgia, the civil rights struggle in America reached its low point. King became bankrupt almost as a leader, plus even financially. The Southern Christian Leadership Conference was in financial trouble, plus it was in trouble, period, with the people when they failed to desegregate Albany, Georgia. Other Negro civil rights leaders of so-called national stature became fallen idols. As they became fallen idols, began to lose their prestige and influence, local Negro leaders began to stir up the masses. In Cambridge, Maryland, Gloria Richardson. In Danville, Virginia, and other parts of the country, local leaders began to stir up our people at the grassroots level. This was never done by these Negroes whom you recognize of national stature. They controlled you, but they never incited you or excited you. They controlled you. They contained you. They kept you on the plantation. As soon as King failed in Birmingham, Negroes took to the streets. King got out and went out to California to a big rally and raised about, I don't know how many thousands of dollars. Come to Detroit and had a march and raised some more thousands of dollars. And recall, right after that, Wilkins attacked King, accused King and the Corps of starting trouble everywhere and then making the NAACP get them out of jail and spend a lot of money, and then they accuse King and Core of raising all the money and not paying it back. This happened. I got it in documented evidence in the newspaper. Roy started attacking King, and King started attacking Roy, and Farmer started attacking both of them. And as these Negroes of national stature begin to attack each other, they begin to lose their control of the Negro masses. And Negroes was out there in the streets. They was talking about, we're going to march on Washington. By the way, right at that time, Birmingham had exploded, and the Negroes in Birmingham, remember, they also exploded. They began to stab the crackers in the back and buzz them upside the head. Yes, they did. That's when Kennedy sent in the troops down in Birmingham. So, and right after that, Kennedy got on the television and said, this is a moral issue. That's when he said he's going to put out a civil rights bill. And when he mentioned civil rights bill and the Southern crackers started talking about they were going to boycott it or filibuster it, then the Negroes started talking about what? We're going to march on Washington, march on the Senate, march on the White House, march on the Congress, and tie it up, bring it to a halt. Don't let the government proceed. They even said they were going to go out to the airport and lay down on the runway and don't let no airplanes land. I'm telling you what they said. That was revolution. That was revolution. That was the black revolution. It was the grassroots out there in the street. Scared the white man to death. Scared the white power structure in Washington, D.C. to death. I was there. When they found out that this black steamroller was going to come down on the Capitol, they called in Wilkins. They called in Randolph. They called in these national Negro leaders that you respect and told them, call it off. Kennedy said, look, you all letting this thing go too far. And old Tom said, boss, I can't stop it because I didn't start it. I'm telling you what they said. They said, I'm not even in it, much less at the head of it. They said, these Negroes are doing things on their own. They're running ahead of us. And that old shrewd fox, he said, well, if you all aren't in it, I'll put you in it. I'll put you at the head of it. I'll endorse it. I'll welcome it. I'll help it. I'll join it. A matter of hours went by. They had a meeting at the Carlisle Hotel in New York City. The Carlisle Hotel is owned by the Kennedy family. That's the hotel Kennedy spent the night at 2 nights ago. Belongs to his family. A philanthropic society headed by a white man named Stephen Currier called all the top civil rights leaders together at the Carlisle Hotel and told them that by you all fighting each other, you're destroying the civil rights movement. And since you're fighting over money from white liberals, let us set up what's known as the Council for United Civil Rights Leadership. Let's form this council, and all the civil rights organizations will belong to it. And we'll use it for fundraising purposes. Let me show you how tricky the white man is. And as soon as they got it formed, they elected Whitney Young as the chairman. And who you think became the co-chairman? Stephen Currier, the white man. A millionaire. Powell was talking about it down at the Cobo today. This is what he was talking about. Powell knows it happened. Randolph knows it happened. Wilkins knows it happened. King knows it happened. Every one of that so-called Big Six. They know what happened. Once they formed it, with the white man over it, he promised them and gave them $800,000 to split up between the Big Six. And told them that after the march was over, they'd give them $700,000 more. $1.5 million split up between leaders that you've been following, going to jail for, crying crocodile tears for, and they've nothing but Frank James and Jesse James and brothers. Soon as they got the setup organized, the white men made available to them top public relations experts. Opened the news media across the country at their disposal. And then they begin to project these big six as the leaders of the march. Originally, they weren't even in the march. You was talking this march talk on Hastings Street. Is Hastings Street still here? On Hastings Street. You was talking the march talk on Lenox Avenue. And down on, Fillmore Street. And Central Avenue. And 42nd Street and 63rd Street. That's where the march talk was being talked. But the white man put the big six ahead of it. Made them the march. They became the march. They took it over. And the first move they made after they took it over, they invited Walter Reuther, a white man. They invited a priest, a rabbi, and an old white preacher. Yeah, the old white preacher. The same white element that put Kennedy in power labored, the Catholics, the Jews, and liberal Protestants. Same clique that put Kennedy in power joined the March on Washington. It's just like when you got some coffee that's too black, which means it's too strong. What you do, you integrate it with cream.
Peace, 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 family. What's going on? What's going on? I ain't wanna catch you while you was chewing. I seen you eating over there. What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of Sincere Love the GodCast. I am the God, Sincere Love, here with my greedy co-host, nyctegur in the digital building. What's going on?
Slacking over here chewing chips.
Yes, indeed. R.I.P. Malcolm X. Yes, indeed. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure that you hit the like button, share this out, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching this on another platform, please head on over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be reminded whenever we go live with new episodes of the GodCast. We do this every Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. And so shout out to the mods in the chat. Shout out to the gods in the chat. Nikki the God, I see you. Some chick named Star, I appreciate you. I don't know how y'all do it. Mama Love in the building. What's going on? I don't know how y'all do it, Nikki and Star, because I see y'all everywhere. Everywhere. I'd be like, yo, I don't know how y'all do it, but I appreciate y'all though. Y'all be putting in that work. Y'all are some key players out here in these digital streets.
Absolutely.
So we got to give y'all flowers as well. You know what I'm saying? This is a labor of love for all of us, and you know, we can't do everything on our own. You know, those of us that you see in front of the camera, that you see on the screens and on the microphone and all of that stuff, we can't do this ourselves. It takes the collective effort of everybody involved. So definitely shout out to the Goderators.
The Goderators? Was that
the
what you
Goderators.
said? The God.
This is Sincere Love the GodCast. So, you know, it's only gods in this circle. It's only gods in this circle. But yeah, I hope y'all were listening to that clip right there with Brother Malcolm. He could have been saying that right today. Everything that he was saying in that clip, he could have been like literally speaking today. You know what I mean? About everything that we see that is happening, everything that we see is going on. And very important message that we need to pay attention to that he was trying to deliver. I'm gonna read a piece from his message to the grassroots, because history is a weapon, right? Mm-hmm. And history, out of all of what did Malcolm say? How does Malcolm quote go? I might have to pull that quote up, because Malcolm has a quote where he says something like, out of all of our fields of study, history is best qualified to reward us for our efforts. You know what I'm saying? Because if we understand our history, or if we don't understand our history, then we're doomed to repeat it. We're bound to repeat it. And so I wanted to play that clip right there Nicely, was you able to hear most of it?
No.
Or was you busy getting set up over there? All right, so we're gonna go back through it and give commentary since you ain't get to hear it all. I ain't gonna play the whole thing because it's like 8 minutes long, but I want you to be able to get the gist of it too and add on, because I know you be very in tune with a lot of stuff that be happening with a lot of these Democratic shills, a lot of these flunkies and these operatives that be sent to sow dissension and cause confusion in our circles and all that. You be very tapped in with a lot of that stuff that's going on, and that's a lot of what he was breaking down that was happening back then. You know, especially now, because ever since you know, our brother Tariq started talking about doing this rally in Washington.
Oh man!
I mean, they just been on, everything just exploded ever since then. FBA been trending all over Twitter. Reparations been trending all over Twitter, and you start seeing all of these rooms pop up talking about what we got going on and trying to cause a lot of confusion. You know,
even going as far as saying the FBA, which is a lineage, is a hate group. Right.
A lot of COINTELPRO type of behavior we've been seeing taking place out here in these internet streets. And that's the theme of today's show, by the way. That's the theme of today's show. It's supposed to be FBA on trial. But who gonna check us though?
Right.
FBA supposed to be on trial, but who gonna check us?
They can't, because you can't check the truth, you know, which a lot of them spew a lot of disinformation for sure, you know. And I with that clip, I didn't get a lot of it, you know, but I have seen it before, and I'm just wondering, like, what would Malcolm X say to Roro?
Right.
Like, would Roro be calling him an idiot? You know what I'm saying? And all the names that he calls foundational Black Americans, would he go as far as, you know what I'm saying something like that to the honorable ancestor Malcolm X? I just wonder.
He basically is saying that, because we all saying the same thing.
Right.
We all echoing the same sentiments. You know what I'm saying? We're not reinventing the wheel. We're not making nothing up. Of course, we're refining the message and making it appropriate for the climate that we're in today. You know what I'm saying? But the gist of everything was already there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The gist of everything was already there. That's right, uncheckable. And how you gonna check a lineage? Right. You know what I'm saying? But before we get into all that, man, because again, that is the theme of today's show, and that's what we're gonna be talking about amongst a lot of other stuff that we gotta cover. But let me read this passage from Malcolm X's speech, a message to the grassroots. And in here, he said, how far? I'll start from here. He was just talking about the Chinese Revolution. They wanted land. They threw the British out along with the Uncle Tom Chinese. Yeah, they did. They set a good example. When I was in prison, I read an article. Don't be shocked when I say I was in prison. You're all in prison. That's what America means, prison. When I was in prison, I read an article in Life magazine showing a little Chinese girl, 9 years old. Her father was on his hands and knees, and she was pulling the trigger because he was an Uncle Tom Chinaman. When they had the revolution over there, they took a whole generation of Uncle Toms and just wiped them out. And within 10 years, that little girl became a full-grown woman. No more Toms in China. And today, it's one of the toughest, roughest, and most feared countries on this earth by the white man, because there are no Uncle Toms over there. Of all our studies, history is best qualified to reward our research. That's the quote I was looking for right there, too. Of all our studies, history is best qualified to reward our research. And so when we out here talking about getting these tethers and these coons and buffoons up out the mix, like I said, we just echoing the sentiments of the master teachers. We ain't saying nothing new.
Nothing. You know, that actually just gave me chills, to be honest. Like, that gave me chills because, again, you know, we're 55 years later. You know what I'm saying? And the same sentiments apply today. So that just means that, we haven't really moved the goalpost for ourselves because we've been carrying the dead weight of others.
Yes, yes, because we've allowed our movements and our leadership to be infiltrated and to be co-opted by the same power structure that we're supposed to be fighting against.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These people have been put in a place to misdirect all of our movements. And so that's why what we're doing today is very important with the delineation as far as our lineage is concerned, and also the delineation as far as the narrative is concerned. Because there's a lot of people who might be a part of our lineage, and whether we agree with their ideology or not, it's nothing we could do about them being a part of the lineage. Right. But we still need to delineate from them ideologically, because a lot of them are saying a bunch of bullshit out here too. And so again, we're going to cover that. We're going to cover that a little bit later on in the show. So make sure you stick around for that that portion of the show when we get into the bullseye of the topic today. In the meantime, make sure that you hit the like button and share this out. But speaking of Malcolm X, did you want to say something?
No, I was clearing my throat.
Okay. Speaking of Malcolm X, the brother Muhammad Aziz, and let me pull this up.
Oh yeah.
The brother Muhammad Aziz, one of the people who was falsely accused of Malcolm X's assassination.
Yes.
Where's it at?
Spent, what, 25 years in prison, right?
Yeah, he was locked up until like the late 80s. All these pop-ups in the way.
He spent 20 years. He spent 20 years in prison for the crime he did not commit.
Let me get these pop-ups out of here. Okay. So, where's the headline at?
Right there.
Come on, no. All right, I got to try to navigate around all of this nonsense. But he's suing.
Too.
Man exonerated. What you said?
I said it's doing all those pop-ups are coming up on my phone too.
Yeah. This CNN. Man exonerated for Malcolm X's assassination sues city of New York for $40 million. And so he deserved even more than that, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Let me read some of the article. A man recently exonerated of his wrongful conviction for the assassination of civil rights icon Malcolm X has filed a $40 million lawsuit against the city of New York. According to civil rights lawsuit filed in Brooklyn federal court on Thursday, Muhammad Aziz's wrongful conviction was the product of a flagrant official misconduct, including inter alia by the NYPD and its intelligence unit, the Bureau of Special Services and Investigations. Several identified and anonymous city employees, many of whom are former NYPD detectives involved in the original investigation, are also named as defendants. Aziz spent 20 years in prison for a crime he did not commit, and more than 55 years living with the hardship and indignity intended to being unjustly branded as a convicted murderer of one of the most important civil rights leaders in history, the lawsuit says. Yeah, man.
This man is 84 years old. Like, I wonder why he didn't, file the lawsuit earlier. Well, I guess because in recent times, he
just got exonerated.
Right. And also that ex-NYPD officer who passed away and left the note or the, confession. Was that about a year ago, 2 years ago? Confessing, what happened. So I guess that's why. But this is an 84-year-old man. Just cut him this check.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even need to wait. We know what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. So yeah, he got out of prison in the 80s, but he still wasn't exonerated until recently, like in the last 5 years or something like that. They reopened that case and got his name cleared. Him and one of the other people who were accused. He died already. I forgot that brother's name, but he already transitioned. But his family should be entitled to some compensation as well.
For what they lost and what he
Right.
lost. So it says here that Aziz settled a separate lawsuit with New York State in April for $5 million, although the claim was originally filed for $20 million in damages. Court documents show he needs them up.
Right. They always trying to figure out a way to mitigate the compensation when it comes to us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're always trying to figure out a way. Well, yeah, technically you're right, but we don't think you should get that much. That's a little bit too much.
Right.
Don't you think? That's a lot of money for you Negroes, don't you think? Peace. What's going on, Jackson?
Peace,
Jackson is in the digital building.
Ready to turn up. Jackson be turning up in here. So it also says that Aziz was released from prison in 1985, and Islam, which was the other person that was accused, was released in 1987 and died in 2009. So he got nothing.
Right. Got nothing. Yeah, so that's what's going on with that story right there. So, hopefully that brother gets everything he deserves, and his family, could be at peace with those reparations.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Put some respect on that man's name.
The fact that we still have to fight, for compensation for the obvious, such as reparations for descendants of slaves, for freedmen, FBA, right? The fact that we know exactly what occurred, how long it occurred, everything, and we still have to fight for it. I'm just, whatever. So, do you want to segue into the next story?
Yeah, I want to do the topic about all of these people that keep having these police interactions.
Yes.
Because I want to kind of talk a little bit about, what's the protocol? What should the protocol be? You know what I'm saying, when you have interactions with a potential race soldier out here? Because I'm seeing a lot of off-code behavior take place, and there's a lot of gray areas in it too. So I want to pull up some of the videos and talk about what we're seeing and kind of break it down.
Let's go.
So start off with the Styles P joint. Did y'all see Styles P?
Yeah.
He intervened. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. And shout out to Styles for this. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Styles.
He didn't have to. He put himself, in harm's way. Something definitely could have happened to him. So shout out to him, for intervening, and because he saw a woman in duress, and two, white race soldiers, attacking her physically.
Right. So this is, when I do my commentary about the video, it's not to disparage Styles P in any type of way. It's just to put our people on code and get the protocol straight about how you're supposed to behave in these situations. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because we got to be talking to our young ones about this. A lot of us, we got teenage children, teenage boys in particular. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta give them the game, because every time they walk out the door, there's the potential for this type of shit to go down.
Exactly.
So let's check it out. Let me unmute it. I don't know if there's a lot of cursing on here.
By the way, fair use.
Yeah, this is from the Shade Room. I don't know if they be on some whatever.
I'm recording. I know you.
No, keep recording.
I'm recording.
Yo, keep recording,
I
man.
hope your camera's on, because you did
Yo,
it the last
sister,
time at the
loosen
water.
up. Loosen up.
Please do.
Sister, relax.
Please. That's a girl too, by the way. That's a girl, by the way. And I hope you got me on camera.
I'm gonna back up. Don't touch me.
I hope you got this on camera.
Yeah, you scared.
I hope you got this on camera. Yeah, you need to back up.
Keep running up.
You need to back up, mister. You need to back up. 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 That's a female. That's a female. Hope your camera's on. That's a female. That's a female. That's a female. You a outside that uniform, you know what you are. You know what you are. You know exactly what you are. Y'all know who the hell are.
You had your gun. You had your hand on the gun.
Y'all know exactly who the hell are.
Slammed on the floor.
You know exactly who you are.
Holding tight.
You probably just graduated from high school.
You're scared. You're not from around.
You're nervous. That's crazy.
And you scared of
I just told him when he get at the water with the other dyke girls. They antagonize dyke girls, not guys. They don't antagonize guys. Y'all antagonize dyke girls. 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 Girls.
All right. So again, shout out to Styles for jumping in and intervening. You know what I'm saying? Old girl with the phone, you see, she's trying to make it about being a dyke.
Yeah.
That ain't really got nothing to do with it, shorty.
Right.
That ain't really got nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Your melanin is your uniform in this war. It ain't got nothing to do with your sexual preference. Or whatever gender you identify as, or whatever the case may be, that ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. But the main thing that needs to happen in these situations is you gotta stay calm and be non-emotional.
Mm-hmm.
All of this yelling and screaming is off code, inappropriate behavior.
And it gives them an excuse to, further be aggressive with you because, the excuse for them is always they were aggressive, they were combative. I fear for my life. Stop resisting. How many times have we heard stop resisting, and someone died?
Right.
You got to remain calm and live through the situation and fight it, another way.
Right. A lot of times they're looking to escalate the situation and they're looking for an excuse. You know what I'm saying? To take it to the next level, to abuse you or potentially murder you. And so it's very important to stay calm. You got to understand that you behind enemy lines.
Right.
And so study the art of war. What's the protocol when you behind enemy lines? If you get caught behind enemy lines and you in a war, name, rank, serial number.
That's it.
Name, rank, serial number, and shut your mouth and cooperate. You know what I'm saying? Your job is to make it home or make it to jail, whichever. If you got to go to jail, you got to go to jail, but safely. You know what I'm saying? And so now at the same time, you have to be prepared to defend yourself. You have a right to defend yourself and not allow yourself to be abused or murdered. You know what I'm saying? If that's the way that it's going to go down. But at the same time, you have to be careful not to give them the excuse that they're looking for to take it there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that I would say, that Styles did wrong in that situation was he, all of the yelling and all of that. He should have chilled out with some of that. But I like how he got the officer's attention off of the girl and onto himself.
Mm-hmm. And he kept his hands up.
Yeah.
And he kept his hands up because so that's saying I'm not a threat. You know what I'm saying? I'm calling out what you're doing wrong, right? Even though it's too much emotion and yelling and stuff like that. But he got the attention off of the girl and onto himself, and he kept his hands up where that officer could see his hands, where there was no excuse for aggression towards him.
Right. Right. And so we saw another situation with Lil Boosie.
Yeah.
This week also. Hold on. Let me get that pulled up. Let me get that one pulled up. Where we at? And Lil Boosie.
A lot worse for me. His was a lot worse for me.
Lil Boosie was being wrongfully targeted as well.
I agree, but
hold on. Yeah. Boosie tripping.
The stuff he was saying.
Oh man. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on a second. All right. All right. Here go. Here go your man, Lil Boosie.
Birth control pills or something for my bitches. You know bitches can't get pregnant from me. Yeah, I got a lot of hoes sucking in my house right now. Yeah. I got like 35 hoes sucking in my house right now. If anybody want they suck, let me know. Bitch, I'm ready to fight. I take off I could fight. I would throw them bitches within the office. All you do is take off their bag and they gun. And I'm gonna throw them bitches with you in the parking lot. I'm like this, man. I moved out here for training. I'm finna sell my shit. Car is not stolen. Registration is right. The tag is right. I was pulled over because it's Boosie's car. You fucking motherfuckers are targeting my vehicle. You're targeting my vehicle. If I was a white college player, you wouldn't fuck with my vehicle. If I played soccer or baseball, you wouldn't fuck with my vehicle. You'll stop me for an autograph.
I'm gonna give you a citation for marijuana. All right.
For the smell of marijuana.
No, you'll be fine.
Crumbs on the floorboard.
There's some bags. There's 2 bags. All right. I'm gonna give you a citation for legibility, and that's it. All right. I'm gonna let y'all be on about your business. Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. But take the handcuffs off you. You gotta sit in the car.
Bro, I'm just tired, bro. If you let me go, just let me go. I'm going to file charges right now.
I got you. Just have a seat and I'll grab that.
So now, to me, in this situation, it looked like these particular officers weren't interested in escalating the situation because they know he was a celebrity. They know that this would be a very high profile situation that, you know, they don't want to bring that much heat onto the department, onto the city, that whole situation. This is somebody who, you know, has resources, who can afford to get lawyered up. You know, they don't got to depend on Benjamin Crump. You know what I'm saying? And also just a high profile aspect of it. It's like, you know, we ain't gonna take it there, whatever. He was speeding or whatever he was doing. He had some weed in the car, whatever he was doing. He obviously tried
to have weed in the car. They ticketed him for the smell of marijuana.
That's what he was saying. But I think they said there was 2 bags or something like that.
Oh, okay.
That's what it sounded like. The cop said. He was like, "You taking me for the smell of marijuana?" He was like, "Well, there's a little something in the car." He said, "What, crumbs on the floor?" He said, "No, it's 2 bags in there." Okay. Something like that. He said. That's what it sounded like. But now, yeah,
Boosie's defense now, from my understanding and his right with the PD out there in Atlanta, is that he's been targeted a lot lately. I think for the last 2 weeks or so, like every time he moved, they right there on his bumper for like nothing, just him.
Oh, what else did we miss? Because that's the only clip I saw. Jesse Paris, he said that wasn't the whole video. That's the only clip that I saw.
Oh, he ranted. I seen a longer video too. He ranted for a long time, talking about spitting on him when he get up in there, what he gonna do to him. Like he ranted a lot. Yeah, okay. He was actually making threats. You know, that part I was just like, Boosie, like I understand you got a couple coins and stuff, but same thing applies to you. Like,
right.
Just don't do that, because the message, who he is, and the message that gives to other people. Everybody can't act like that and pop off like that.
Hella off code.
Hella
off code. You know what I'm saying? This ain't Vlad TV, Boosie. You're not on Vlad TV, Boosie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With all the antics. Turn down sometimes, my nigga. Everything is not a performance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You behind enemy lines, man. Act accordingly. And you know, Boosie gonna be Boosie, but you know, I'm saying this for y'all. I'm saying this for y'all. You know, those of y'all that are viewing this, those of y'all that have children out there, that's what you don't do.
Also, that DA y'all got out there, she just issued a statement saying within the next 60 days, there's going to be more rappers arrested. So, Boosie, don't be one of them.
Yeah,
she's specifically and out loud saying that she's targeting rappers.
She is on her bullshit.
She on her bullshit.
Heavy. She is on her bullshit heavy. And so, yeah, we'll stay on this topic for a second because I got a couple of more videos to show y'all of the do's and don'ts. You know what I mean? Again, the protocol when you behind enemy lines, name, rank, serial number. That's it. Hold on. I don't know which window is which. Let me close some of these windows here. Hold on a second, fam.
And while he's doing that, even when you know that they're wrong, you know what I'm saying? Live through the situation. And yes, you do have every right to defend yourself, but if they're escalating situations and trying to provoke you, don't feed into it. You know what I'm saying? That if you don't feed into it, they have no excuse. It's when they get you to step out of that, you know what I'm saying, that they have the excuses to do what they're doing. And we already know what their intentions are. So don't feed into it. As up as it is, don't give it to them.
Right.
And fight them a different way.
And the other protocol is, you know what I'm saying? Since y'all filming, I don't mind the filming. You know what I'm saying? Film the interaction, but collect pertinent information. Because a lot of times when stuff does happen, when stuff does escalate to the next level, a lot of times we don't even know, who the race soldier is, and they start hiding the person's information and scrubbing they social media and all of that stuff. Collect pertinent information while you record it. License plates, badge numbers, names, the area where you at. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's going on around you that's important, that's what needs to be documented so that when you put it out on social media, we can do our own grassroots investigations to find out who's who and what's what. And not one time did she even ask a sister that was on the ground her name. Sis, what's your name? Where you from? You know what I'm saying? Something like that. What's your phone number? And I think they knew each other. And I think they knew each other because she kept saying us dykes. She said they us studs or whatever term she was using. I don't know if she was saying dykes. She said dykes. She was saying dykes. Now, why is it that if we say it is bad? That's what I'm about to say. I don't know if dyke is offensive or not. It used to be cool. Cool. You know what I mean? It was a chick around my way. We was called Dyke Mike. You know what I mean? Dyke Mike. Dyke Mike was cool. Yeah. Was her real name Michelle? No. No, that's just the name that she wanted. She wanted to be Mike. So, Dyke Mike. Nobody never disrespected Dyke Mike. All right, hold on. I'm trying to let this video start over because it's one of the videos you can't rewind it and shit. All right, man. Hold on. I'll start it from here because from here she kind of act appropriate on this last part.
You don't have anything on you, right?
No, I just came from work. Okay.
This is the end of the video. I'm gonna let it start over, y'all.
I swear he comes up to the car with his gun in my face. You know how you approach a car, put your hand on your weapon, not in somebody's face, and then he's screaming at me the whole time. I got it on recording, so I want his badge number and his name.
All right, 7909. That's Sergeant Vasquez. I'm 9305, Officer Rivera with you. I'm the arresting officer, okay?
And 5657 cell.
You can take the car.
That part of the video was appropriate.
Okay, I'm just
Here we go.
to make sure that this doesn't go left. That's what I'm making sure.
What are you gonna do? What?
What is your problem? I didn't do anything to you. I would be better if somebody watches because he's getting aggressive with me and I'm scared.
Aggressive and scared. Okay, I'm sitting over here.
You're quiet now, but you're just screaming at me for no reason. I don't care. You can attack me any kind of way because you got a badge. I don't care. He pulled out his firearm and he got mad because I told him to put it away.
The man who was driving the car was concealing his right hand from our view.
Whole time I told them 4 times there's no weapons in this car and there's no okay. I'm just tired. There's nothing to be. I told, bro, can you pull over, please? I just want to make sure I make it home alive. You know, because I said.
Yeah, you know, you should really get put in the hospital for the acting job that you're putting on right now.
Acting? You should know what's going on. It's your people. Sir, stop talking to me like that. I'm not making false statements. I'm saying my point of view. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me.
Right.
But you guys, yesterday I literally seen 4 white officers attack a black dude, and I literally posted it on TikTok. This is what you go through for being black, because we weren't wearing seatbelts. But you have a firearm out because you weren't wearing seatbelts.
Right. Now, I like a lot of what she did in that video. And I could understand a young lady being emotional. You know what I'm saying? I could understand that from a young lady. But all of the going back and forth, obviously this dude was looking for some smoke. You know what I'm saying? Obviously this dude was on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And so going back and forth for him like that, y'all got to be careful with that. But she did get pertinent information in the video. She got him to it. She got him to admit, even though she didn't film him with his gun out, she got him to admit it on camera.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? She got him to admit that he pulled out his firearm on camera. She got the badge numbers and the names of all the officers that was on the scene toward the end of the video.
Name, by the way?
Huh?
Did you hear Robles? Did you hear the last name Robles? One of y'all white, Hispanic, black, and brown pride people.
Yeah. And also, you can hear that the young lady had a Spanish accent, but she was making it clear that this was happening because she was black.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She was making it clear that this was a racial interaction that she was having. Right. This is what happens to black people. She wasn't trying to people of color it and because I'm a woman or because I'm a brown person or Hispanic. She was making it clear. No, this is because I'm black.
And even with the seatbelt violation, pull them over. If there's seatbelt laws, which I'm sure every state there is, you know, ticketing them for a seatbelt. I pulled you over because you don't have your seatbelt on. I'm going to have to ticket you. Easy breezy. City get their money and everybody moves on.
Right. But like I said, it was obvious that race soldier was looking to try to escalate something. And so he was purposely agitating her and getting her emotional and all of that. I believe if the other officers didn't step on the scene, that could have got out of hand.
And I think that these guys, these officers, and especially that one, you saw the muscles and stuff like that, like he got some type of sick turn on with having her crying and stuff like that, because he was egging it on too. He could have been like, look, I'm just going to give you your ticket and you can go. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case, or just ignored her. But he was getting some type of sick, turn on off of this stuff.
Right.
They're turned on by this.
And them dudes just hopped up on steroids and all type of shit too. And them steroids be having you all emotionally out of whack and all of that stuff too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. And damn, now you have in New York City where police officers are no longer going to be tested for marijuana, which I still find it strange that they had only been getting tested for marijuana and not other drugs. Like, why are we only picking marijuana as the, drug, as one of the drugs that they test for, as random testing, I'm assuming, but why not other drugs?
Because it's legalized. Hold on. What's your question?
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to make sure I understand what your question is.
What I'm saying is NYPD says that they're no longer going to be testing their officers for marijuana. My thing is, why were they only testing for marijuana in the first place and not other drugs such as cocaine, methamphetamines, opioids, etc.?
Oh, is that true? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even know that. So they were only tested for marijuana?
They were only testing them for marijuana. Now they're not going to test them at all for marijuana. So, like, I know school bus drivers and stuff like that, regular bus drivers, even, certain jobs here in America, security jobs, they do random drug testing, period, throughout your career. And these people hold guns, they also drive. They do high-speed chases, all kinds of things. Why were they only being tested for marijuana and not other substances?
Right. And honestly, I think them steroids should be included in that shit too, man. Those enhancement drugs.
Yeah.
for police officers, that should be a no-no.
Right.
That should be a no-no. All right, let me play this guy right here.
This was off code.
This was hella off code too, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's kind of, I don't know. What is this? Hold on. Let me unmute it.
45 and a 30.
A traffic ticket. You said she was doing what?
45 and a 30.
All right. So if she going 45 and a 30, they pulled her over for a traffic ticket. How is it lawful for them to get the identification of the passenger, which they did not get, but said they identified him?
Andrew, please.
Just get out the car, family.
Right.
All of this, I know my rights, shit. All of this, I know
You
my
ain't got
rights.
no rights.
You can't do this. You can't do that. You know,
You ain't got
I
no
understand.
rights in the system of white supremacy.
Right. I understand the filming. But like I said, collect pertinent information for whatever's about to happen. And if you taking this type of stance, be prepared to go all out. If you're not prepared to go all out anyway, and you just gonna get your head bashed in or get abused and whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen, then you might as well just cooperate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you deciding that today is the day, then I ain't mad at you. Today is the day. Do what you gotta do. Go all out. But don't do this and then just get drugged. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that.
And she's already filming. We already know he's not the driver. You know what I'm saying? So he could have went ahead, did everything. She's filming the whole situation. You sue the damn police department. Get
and his
your
baby
bag.
is in the back too, he said, right?
Yeah, and get your bag and call it a day.
You got the kid in the back seat. Like, dude, come on, man.
For them to
Do you
get
think
the
it's because it's a camera in the face?
Huh?
Do you think it's because the camera is in the face that the people feel like they need to perform?
I think that's the case in some cases.
Certain situations.
I think that's definitely the case in certain situations. But I think in a lot of situations, people just don't know the protocol. People just have not really studied the art of war and don't really understand the situation that we're in. Some people are still looking at it like there's a police training problem, there's a police brutality problem. No, the problem is you have race soldiers working within law enforcement who are operating as sleeper cells that want to murder black people.
Right.
That's what they're there for. They're not there to be police officers and protect and serve and all of that. They have infiltrated law enforcement from the top to the bottom in order to carry out these extrajudicial murders. That is what we're dealing with. We don't have a police training issue. We don't need police reform. You cannot reform these race soldiers.
Right.
Right. But so that's the narrative that's being pushed out there with the mainstream, with Black Lives Matter and all these social justice warriors, Tamika and Myson and all of them. You know, they make it seem like the situation is they're misrepresenting what the situation actually is.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so we gotta.
Here in California, Governor Newsom just passed a bill where if there's like a shooting, I think even within law enforcement or something like that, and someone dies, you can sue the gun manufacturer. And I'm sitting here like, why would I be going after the gun manufacturer and not the person who's firing the firearm, including the officer? And I want to say, and I can't remember everything, but I want to say it was something about shootings between a citizen and law enforcement. When something goes wrong and they do something wrong, but instead of going after the officer, we're going to go after the gun manufacturer. I was like, if this fool don't sit down, this don't even sound right. I'm going to send it to you. It was just weird about that. And I was actually going back and forth, with people in the post about it. And they were like, well, you can already sue the police department. I'm like, yeah, but that's tax dollars that's paying all of these lawsuits. Why aren't we going after the individual?
Those pensions and all that.
Pensions and stuff like that. So I had a spat with a few people going back and forth. Like, this makes no sense to me. Especially if the person purchased the firearm legally. If I purchase a firearm legally and I go out here and do something illegal, why is that the responsibility of the person who manufactured the gun? You know what I'm saying? It was just so stupid.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Jackson. And Mama Love, you're right. Yeah, a lot of times, you can do everything right and, still get abused or murdered by one of these race soldiers. And that's why I definitely said I want to make clear you still have the right to protect yourself at all costs. I'm not just saying, don't fight back. I'm just saying don't allow them to escalate the situation if you can avoid it. If you can avoid it. It's important to just remain non-emotional. I'm not blaming this on any victims and saying, well, if you would have act right, this would have never happened. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's a protocol and a code of conduct when you're behind enemy lines.
Exactly.
Let this video finish.
Here it is.
Passenger, which they did not get, but said they identified me.
Andrew, please, no.
They not trying to let me get out of the car myself, bro. I'm on the phone, obviously. You took your time with your investigation. I can't take my time and get off my car. No. My child's in the car. You had multiple chances. Give me a kiss, babe.
Hey, do you want to come out on your own?
Get off me. Get off me. Do you understand that they pulling on me like they dogs? I'm a human being.
Get out the car.
Then back up and let me get out.
I did.
I kissed my family goodbye. Get off me.
Yeah. Come on.
Let me get out then. A traffic ticket. You said she was going.
I do want to say that I do appreciate the brother's spirit, though. I do appreciate this brother's spirit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't sense any fear. You know what I mean? So we just got to find ways to make sure we direct that energy appropriately. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that was that segment right there. Family, like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. You know what I mean? Mash that like button. I can't see how many likes we got.
I can't either. I never could tell.
I can't see that from back here. So I don't know, but hit the like button, share this out, please, and thank you. So where we going with it?
We're going to go into this article from Tallahassee.com. Former Deputy Zachary Wester sentenced to more than 12 years in prison for drug planting. So this officer, White, was planting drugs on citizens that he was pulling over.
And he just one that got caught. But go ahead, read some of the articles.
So, former Jackson County Sheriff Deputy Zachary Wester will spend the next 12 years in prison after being found guilty of planting drugs on multiple motorists. Wester, 28 years old, was sentenced Tuesday to 12 and a half years in state prison in connection with 19 guilty verdicts handed down in May. They range from felonies such as racketeering, official misconduct, fabricating evidence, and false imprisonment to misdemeanors such as possession of controlled substances and drug paraphernalia and perjury. He faced 67 total charges, but was cleared of most after a week-long trial in the state's 14th Judicial Circuit, which covers Bay, Calhoun, Gulf, Holmes, Jackson, and Washington counties. First of all, we already know he's doing this. How did he get cleared of most of the 67 counts?
Right.
Right.
The fact that he got to do over a decade is good, but also every drug case that he's the arresting officer on needs to be thrown out. Just off top, just based on that conviction alone. No other circumstances need to be even looked into. Just based over that conviction, they need to look at every case where he was the arresting officer and there was drugs involved, a drug conviction involved. Those people need to have their charges thrown out.
Absolutely. And this is cases from 2017 and 2018. So that wasn't too long ago.
And you know, this shit happens on a regular. You know what I'm saying? This is just somebody that got caught. You know, somebody that probably just got careless with it, got sloppy with it. How you see the lights and we don't see the lights? I don't see the lights.
Yeah, I don't see it.
But thank you, though.
Because we're not on the YouTube live. I don't know.
Thank you, though. Appreciate it. So what we doing? Pussy Lives Matter?
Yeah. Not a pussy.
So it was that dude. All right, let's start off with that one. That dude that was giving birth.
Oh,
I saw that you posted that.
I put it in here, or can you get it?
I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
It wasn't a dude. It was a woman that is transitioning. Obviously, still has a vagina, but she has a beard and a bald head.
Yeah. Yeah. The confusion is on fleek. The confusion game is on fleek out here. Oh, and that reminds me too. I think that's in there somewhere too. The statement that what's his name? Talib Kweli made.
Oh Lord, yeah.
And
that's
also
gone viral for me on Twitter, by the way. That one has gone viral for me. Like I have like over 200 retweets and like.
Yeah, that one. Put that one at the bottom if you can.
Okay.
And it was somebody else who was talking that same dumb shit. Who was it?
I don't know, but Lil Uzi Vert just came out and says that he's going by his pronouns of them and all this other stuff. And yeah.
Right. And Lil Uzi Vert been suspect. I mean, you got a lot of people, a lot of these young niggas that look up to him that was been trying to defend him and all that. But the OG's been told y'all. The OG's been told y'all about Lil Uzi Vert from the beginning. This nigga was been running around here with blouses on and fingernail polish. So nobody's really surprised. Nobody's really surprised to see this. I'm trying to figure out who the other person was. But anyway, I'll find it while I play this.
Mark Lemoyce Hill.
Mark Lemoyce Hill.
Talking about men can menstruate and all this stuff. Yeah.
That's who it was. Mark Lemoyce, goddamn him. If you could put those two at the bottom, and I'll pull those up next. But let me play this video real quick if I can. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Gotta unmute it. No, this ain't the video. I think to skip to the next video.
No, that's it. Wait.
I think it skipped to the next one or something.
Let
me just.
No, that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. It starts with that.
Brian Kemp has something to do with it?
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah. Because the law's there.
Okay, got it. All right.
So I have been in the hospital since about 1:30 a.m. on Monday morning. Baby and I are being monitored.
So this person was born a female, obviously. This person was born a female, but they transitioned into male. I don't know how to explain it, but what you see here.
All is well.
This man is preparing to give birth in one of the least LGBTQ plus friendly states in the U.S.
Pregnant women are celebrated. Trans people are not.
Georgia has sodomy laws, HIV/AIDS criminalization laws, and no statewide policies preventing insurance exclusions for trans health care. It also has one of the most visible anti-trans politicians in Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. That means this family and this family.
For a while, it looked like we were just a regular old hetero couple.
And this family.
She told Jackson on the playground that he was stupid. Basically told him that
God didn't love him, are all navigating building households in a state where some of their government officials say things like,
no to biological males in women's sports, no to biological males in women's shelters, locker rooms, and showers, and no to transgender medical treatments for children, which is child abuse.
So what's wrong with anything that he just said?
I found no issues with nothing. Nothing.
What is wrong with anything he just said? We don't want children taking these dangerous ass hormones and getting these procedures done. You know what I'm saying? When they're not even old enough to really make them type of decisions for themselves.
They're not
You know
old
what
enough
I'm
to
saying?
drive.
Right. You don't want, a man with some titties in a shelter with other women. And we got another story that we'll pull up and show you a good example of why in a minute. All of these things, like nobody's saying you can't identify the way that you want to identify. Nobody's saying that y'all can't enter into these relationships that y'all are entering into and procreating the way that y'all procreating. There's no law against this person being pregnant and having a child and them two living together and starting a family the way that they want to start it. There's no laws against none of that. There's no legislation being pushed to try to deny anybody of any of that. You know what I'm saying? But they're drawing lines when it comes to the children and when it comes to protecting the rights of hetero people who don't want to be violated. You don't want to be at a spa as a woman, and we've seen videos of this. You know what I'm saying? You at a spa, where women are walking around unclothed, getting massages or going into the hot tubs and stuff like that. And then a person that was born a man that has a wig on and some breast implants comes in there with his ding-a-ling swinging.
Right.
And you're supposed to just be cool with that. Like, nah, that's crazy as hell.
And in the case of the situation that happened here at a LA spa, that did happen, where they allowed this trans person to go into the dressing area, and there were children there. And so, these women were raising hell. They were not black women. It wasn't even black people involved, but they raised hell because they were like, wait a minute. It's one thing if I'm in there, which I'm uncomfortable, but my children are with me. My children shouldn't be exposed to this person's genitals.
I remember that video too. And the thing is, obviously, rightfully so, they was upset and everything. And they were taking it up with the spa
owner.
But it's the laws. Like if the spa owner tried to stop this trans person from going into their area of choice based on how they identify, they would be violating the law. So this is something that has to be taken up on a political level. It's got to be taken up with your local politicians and all of that.
And
you got to stand up against this shit.
The only ones that are pushing this shit, locally, are the Democratic Party. Let's be very clear, because conservatives
these are all liberal. These are all liberal policies. These are all democratic liberal policies that's forcing this stuff on society, grooming society like this.
Right.
I'll play a little bit more of the video. I ain't gonna play the whole thing though. Y'all get the gist.
In a place where politicians filed 7 anti-LGBTQ plus bills during the 2021-2022 season, what is it like for trans residents trying to conceive, birth, and parent in the Peach State?
I think they're saying the Peach State is one of the most
of all states. Come on,
nigga, I live here. This is Bussy Central.
Right.
This is Bussy Central. It's very Bussy friendly out here.
But it's anti because we're not allowing you to swing your ding-a-ling and titties around children in locker rooms. We're saying no and pushing back on a trans woman playing in women's sports because you're still genetically a man. Just because you got a wig on. So because they're pushing back on that, now it's anti-LGBT. Shut up.
Scared about what the future holds because we're transitioning in Georgia.
The more they attack, the more visible I become.
All right, that's enough. Man. This shit is hella confused.
Say something off the record, but on the record, but off the record? If that had remained a female, she would have been ugly as hell. Lord, forgive me, but I just didn't see anything pretty. Like, you know, if I put a wig on there and you know remove the facial hair, I don't think it would be pretty.
I'm gonna push back on that. I'm gonna push back on that because these drugs and stuff that they taking are making them look that way.
It's only creating hair. It's only creating
Nah,
facial
it's more than that. It's more than that. They look
and changing the voice.
And like almost like their features and stuff. Like that looked like a whole man. You would not know that was a woman.
No. Now, when she took the shirt off, you can tell that she had her breast removed.
Yeah.
You see that.
And so I have a cousin who was born a female that transitioned to a male. And if you see her, him, I don't, you know what I'm saying, whatever. If you see my cousin, you're gonna think that's a man. Beard, everything, just look like a man. You know what I'm saying? Just point blank, period. But she was a cute little girl.
Little girl. What about like if she made this transition?
I'm saying she would have been a cute. I'm saying she would have been a cute woman. She would have been a cute woman if she would have stayed how she was. She would have been a cute woman. You know what I'm saying? My family is fly. We look good in my family. So she got good genetics. But you wouldn't be able to tell that. You wouldn't be able to tell that. If you saw her, you would say, okay, that would have been an ugly ass woman. That's probably what most people probably would think. Peace. What's going on, Tori and Rain? Appreciate you, family. What's going on, Crown 808? Their mannerisms change as well. Crown 808 says, yeah, I agree. Yeah, those hormones do a lot more than just help them grow facial hair and deepen up their voice. It's a lot. Especially, yeah, even both ways too, because some of the dudes that transition into women, you can't tell either.
No, but see, with the men that transition though, because men have like broader foreheads and certain things and jawlines, they actually go in and have all that stuff shaved down. It's called facial feminization, and it's a plastic surgery that they do. So a lot of the men, the hormones is giving them titties and stuff like that, and changing the voice and things like that. But they have to go through a lot, you know, to feminize the face, where they're pulling the skin down and going in and shaving down the jawline, shaving down the forehead, and a lot of stuff. So with me, I do think it's a little bit more intense. I mean, to transition from male to female. Yeah.
So are there trans women? Is that the right term for somebody that was born a female transition to a man?
Yeah, that's what that was. That's a trans man.
Trans men. So are there trans men that have false penises?
I mean, I don't know, because obviously this person is, I don't know if they're married, you know, obviously in a relationship, but he has a vagina. And so
he's about to give birth.
They're having intercourse, penis to vagina intercourse. So it's just confusion. I mean,
hella confusion, man.
Confusing. And then he said that, you know, they asked him how was it transitioning, and he's like, you know, it was hard because he had to get off the hormones to allow himself to menstruate, you know, and going through the process of allowing himself to menstruate so that he can begin the ovulation process to get pregnant. In this case, I would say, why not get a surrogate? Maybe.
I mean, why get a surrogate if you're capable of getting pregnant and delivering a child?
Because you're a man. Because you're a man now.
You're not a man. You're never going to be a man.
But this is what I'm identifying. And clearly a man can't get pregnant. A man cannot menstruate. A man cannot give birth. A man cannot nurse.
Well, what do we know? Because did you find that Talib Kweli thing?
I did. It's in there.
Yeah. What do we know?
I put the video on there where he was basically responding to, and that snapshot was the comments from that post. So it was a concert. I forget the name of the band, and so he posted it, and that was his response to them. So that snapshot of what he said was from that post, by the way.
I just had it, but I lost it. Hold on. Where did I go? Okay, here I go. All right. So let me play that snapshot first then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because what do we know? Let's let the experts tell us. Because maybe we just sound stupid over here. I don't know. I don't know the rules. Now, I didn't see this. Let's play this real quick. My bad. I got to unmute it. I don't want to play the music. So y'all can read the screen.
Right.
Black birth givers experience maternity something. Forced birth in a country where gun violence is the #1 cause of death among children and teenagers. Let me see. What band is this?
Rage of the Machine.
Oh, this is Rage Against the Machine. Okay, I like them too.
Mm-hmm.
Abort the Supreme Court. Okay, so they mad about Roe v. Wade. And this is another weird thing. Okay, forced birth in a country that is the only wealthy country in the world, something. Black birth givers experience maternal mortality 2 to 3 times higher than that of white birth givers. Okay,
Why
these are
that?
all.
That's due to medical apartheid. That has nothing to do with giving birth. Let's be very clear.
That's what I'm about to say. This is all like different issues.
Right.
These
But
are
they
all
like to
different
conflate
issues.
them. They like to, the devil's the author of confusion, and that's what these people are.
Right. Rage Against the Machine, I used to think that they was like a, an activist type of band back in the days, but obviously they're just towing the line.
Right.
Conflating all these different issues that don't even go together. But whatever.
But notice too how they threw in black birth mortality rate. You know what I'm saying? Why don't throw us in this shit? You don't speak on black people because you're not black. You don't do that.
Right. Hold on, let me get that. Okay, so I could just share this.
Wait. Oh well, yeah, you can go ahead and or maybe you want to play the Mark on My Heel one first before Talib's comment on that.
Yeah, I'll do that. And so let's hear from the experts, y'all, because we don't know what the hell we talking about, and we over here being all types of transphobic, and
right.
So we got to be fair and put both sides of the argument out there. So let's hear from the pussy experts. Mark Lamoise Hill, I think he knows better than we do. So let's hear what he got to say.
Biology, and it doesn't mean that we don't have.
Can men get pregnant?
Depends.
Can you turn it up?
I know.
What does it depend on?
I know trans men that can get pregnant.
Woman. Only one sex can get
that's
pregnant.
Circular argument.
Can men give birth?
Sometimes. That's my answer. Yes.
And the answer that is crazy. And this is we cannot. It's just crazy. We cannot allow this to happen.
But you would say the definition of being a woman's ability to give birth.
I'm not saying it, but only women can give birth is a factually true statement. Okay? Can men get their period?
You know what? Mute your mic real quick.
Okay.
Trans men, some trans men can. And again, I think it's okay to ask interesting questions. I think it's okay to have intellectual debates. But I don't think that we ever want to enter a space where we deny the humanity. And I'm not saying you are, but to deny the humanity or the experiences of other people.
I noticed in your written testimony, you said that you.
So to acknowledge a social construct does not mean that we ignore biology, and it doesn't mean that we don't have.
Can men get pregnant?
Depends. I know.
What does it depend on?
I know trans men that can get pregnant.
That means it's a woman. Only one sex can get pregnant.
That's circular argument.
Can men give birth?
Sometimes. That's my answer. Yes.
And the answer that is crazy. And this is we cannot.
So unmute your mic. So those are the, he's the bussy expert, so he knows a little bit better than us.
Right.
He knows a little bit better than us, so I had to let y'all hear from the expert. Because I don't want to be unfair. I don't want to be unfair here. And so Talib Kweli said, a birth giver may be transmasculine and have a uterus. Some people are non-binary and neither identify as male nor female. They may identify as having no gender, as having two or more genders, as being third or other gender, or as moving fluidly among genders, etc. Birth givers may be intersex people who do not identify as women. Intersex people are born with various in-sex characteristics, including chromosomes, gonads, sex hormones, or genitals that do not fit the typical definition for male, female bodies. Some birth givers may identify as women, but may not want to be called mothers.
First of all, I'm not a fucking birth giver, and yes, I cuss. I'm a mother. I do not want to be called a birth giver. It's almost disrespectful. Birth giver. What is that? My children call me mama. Mom. Birth giver. Could you imagine? Like, we have to stop. We have to stop. We have to stop. This has to stop. Birth giver. The fact that you kept saying that. Birth giver. Like, this is programming.
That's Talib Kweli, y'all.
Yes. Y'all's man.
This is a hip hop legend that we hear saying this garbage. Man, hip hop, the purpose of hip hop was born to, like the band's name says, rage against the machine. That was the purpose of us giving birth to this culture, was to go against the machine and the status quo. Now you got hip hop legends who are towing this nonsense. It's crazy out here, man. And the thing about it is, this narrative is not as popular as they try to pretend that it is. Most people are not with this. Most people feel the same way that you and I feel.
Absolutely.
Right? But politicians have no problem getting up on these podiums, spewing this stuff, pushing legislation that kind of enables some of this stuff. But they tell us, oh, they can't speak on black issues because it's not a popular issue, because we're only 13% of the population, and because they won't be able to get this passed or that passed, and they got to appeal to this one and that one, and the poll says this and the poll says that.
Yet every election cycle, they're hollering for us to come out. We don't. I mean, with our numbers being so low and you really can't do shit for us anyway, why you keep calling us out to vote and saying you need the black vote? For what?
Right.
You know, our numbers are so low, you don't need me.
What you need us for? We insignificant. Leave us alone. With all
Especially with this bullshit. And like our sister Crown said, we reject that bullshit. And black women specifically need to reject these talking points. I'm not going to be called a birth giver. I'm not.
And
it's disrespectful.
I'm not about to be called this shit.
A non-birth person.
A non-birthing person. Nigga, what?
Right.
Nigga, what? Yeah, Alfonso said that 13% is a lie. Completely. I agree with you.
Completely.
I agree with you. What else did I miss in here?
Madness. I was just telling a friend of mine, because she has a 7-year-old, you know, and mine is in his last year of high school, thankfully. And like I said, I am so happy that I have been able to teach my son. I have been able to not allow him to be indoctrinated with the bullcrap. Now you have these babies where, you know, they're teaching this stuff as young as kindergarten. You know what I'm saying? So even when she saw this stuff, she immediately hit me up like, girl, you saw this. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm scared for you, you know, because you have to work, you know, 10 times as hard to make sure your baby is not indoctrinated by this crap, especially if you're going to allow him to continue with public school, or you're going to have to homeschool your child. You got decisions to make.
Right.
Now.
All right. And y'all already know I got a little 6, almost 7-year-old in the house. And so, you know, I do my due diligence on a daily basis.
Right.
On a daily basis. You know what I mean? I make sure he has the proper armor that is necessary, you know what I mean, out here in this war. Because it's a war. It's a war. It's an ideological war. It's a political war. It's a war basically on all fronts, you know, educational, you know what I mean? And so I'm making sure that he's well armed with the information and rooted in reality. You know what I'm saying? So we got to do our due diligence as parents,
And
as
even with
birth givers.
Even with that though, because the thing about it is, you know, we can push and teach our kids so much, but once they interact with their peers, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, we still have to push even harder. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have to remove them out of the situations because their peers may align with these ideologies, such as birth givers. That means, you know, my child can't go to a slumber party where the parents over there talking about birth givers and non-birth givers and all this shit. Like, you just can't do it.
Right.
Or having a teacher that's genetically female but looks like a man and telling, you know, your children to call them by those pronouns. So it's like at 6 and 7 years old, mom and dad is telling me this, but I'm going to school and this is my teacher. You know what I'm saying?
At that point, you got to keep them home.
Confusion. You got to keep them at home.
At that point, you definitely got to keep them home because, you know, when they go to school, they spend more time with these people than they spend with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So at that point, you know, if you know that type of shit is going on at the school, you're going to have to do what you got to do and keep them home.
You got to remove them. Make that sacrifice for your babies.
And my son does go to school, but that's why I'm very active. You know what I'm saying? With everything. And that's one good thing about being in these red states, though. Being in Georgia, like they said, getting a lot of pushback from a lot of these white supremacists, to tell you the truth. The white supremacists ain't with this shit. So a lot of times it's good living around these motherfuckers, being in the same school district with their kids and all that, because we benefit from it just, you know, subsequently.
Right.
But my man Torian Rain said a trans woman just got relocated to another prison because they impregnated 2 women in a New Jersey state prison. They are currently in jail for manslaughter and won't be released until 2037. And so we got that story right here.
Who's going to raise that with those children?
Right. What you going to do with this now? Y'all pushing all this garbage. Now, when this happens, now what? What's the solution? Oh, they got the solution because this is just a baby that they could put into the system.
Mm-hmm. A black child like that.
And corrupt this child and let this child be whatever they want it to be. And next thing you know, this is going to be one of your future politicians, one of your future media persons, you know what I'm saying, that's wearing our uniform, speaking their language. Incarcerated transgender woman and demi-minor impregnates 2 inmates at New Jersey prison. A transgender woman behind bars at a New Jersey women's prison impregnated 2 fellow inmates, prompting officials to move her to a different facility, a report revealed on Saturday. And this is my second time hearing a story like this.
Yes, this is not the first.
Right. Mm-hmm. Demi Minor, 27, was moved last month from the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility for Women to the Garden State Youth Correctional Facility. Youth? Hold on. 27 moved to the youth facility,
right?
A prison for young adults in Burlington County. A New Jersey Department of Corrections spokesman told NewJersey.com. Minor, who was serving a 30-year sentence for manslaughter, is in a vulnerable unit in the new facility where she is the only woman, the spokesman said. Minor wrote in the blog, I'm confused reading this.
I'm confused too. And Lord, I'm confused.
Minor wrote in a blog post on the website Justice for Demi on July 15th that she was placed on suicide watch at the new facility due to the fact that I had hung myself in the van. She claimed guards denied her request to be strip searched by a female DOC officer. So this is the one that got pregnant?
I guess.
That's serving 30 years. let me go back a little bit because I'm getting confused here. All right, transgender woman impregnated 2 fellow inmates, prompting officials to move her. So the person that got moved is the transgender.
Trans person.
So Demi Minor, I believe that's the transgender.
Who's serving 30 years.
Is 27 years old, got moved to a youth correctional facility for young adults, and she's serving 30 years for manslaughter in a vulnerable unit where she's the only woman. Okay.
So
she was
she's
placed
the
on
only
suicide
woman. How?
watch. So the trans person is born a woman. I mean, born a man, but
Right.
identifies as a woman. So that's why they're saying the only woman. All right.
Okay.
They're saying the only woman, but it's in a male facility, which this person was born a male. So everybody keeping up?
Yeah.
Everybody keeping up?
Yeah.
All right. So she was placed on suicide watch. He was placed on suicide watch at the new facility due to the fact, quote, due to the fact that I had hung myself in the van. So I guess while they was transporting her, they tried to kill themselves in the van. I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm just confused. Sorry. But New Jersey Department of Corrections have violated my right to be safe and free from sexual harassment by putting me in one of the most violent youth correctional facilities, Minor wrote. While living here at GYSC, I have found myself under attack by young inmates who are immature and just plain ignorant towards a person like me. So now they moved her from a women's prison to a male youth facility.
So now she gonna be buck breaking.
This is crazy. This is crazy. And this is the person
insane.
right here.
This is insane.
This is the trans person right here. That's a whole man, y'all.
I was just gonna say, tell me where y'all see a woman at. When y'all see a woman, let me know.
It's a whole man with some individual braids. So where they gonna put Lil Uzi Vert if Lil Uzi Vert catch a charge? Where they gonna put Lil Uzi Vert at? In a male or female prison?
I'm just. You can make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up.
So she said, look. She said she was briefly transferred to New Jersey State Prison where she was called he, him well over 30 times. My nigga. My nigga.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
he's looking for a lawsuit. That's what that is. He's looking for a lawsuit. He like that. I gotta do these 30 years. Somebody gonna cut the check.
My thing is, why are you gonna put him in a youth facility? This person could buck break one of those youths.
No, he can't.
I mean, he still has a slong.
I understand what you're saying, but I've been in them youth facilities. Trust me, them niggas will beat the brakes off of this. You see, he ain't lying when he said, hold on, let me go back to that quote. Before that. This ain't no lie when he said they violated my right to be safe and free from sexual harassment by putting me in one of the most violent youth facilities. While living here, I have found myself under attack by young inmates who are immature and just plain ignorant towards a person like them. Little niggas is wild. The youth facilities is way worse than a regular prison. You rather be in a prison with some OG gangster killers than be locked up with some youth, them little young wild niggas who only got 2-3 years to do. Them niggas be wild.
Now he wants to be a damsel in distress. Show ass down.
B1 family. What's going on, RP Beats? Peace to the God. Man, let's go to our main topic, man. I got a headache from that story. Unless there's something else that we need to cover real quick. Let me see. Was there anything else?
Yeah, the one with you know the I don't know if it's the rapper. He's a rapper, but what's the one that be twerking? But he sat down with Slim Thug.
Oh yeah, I do want to pull that one up. Yeah, I do want to pull that one up. Big Frida.
Big Frida, yeah, I couldn't think of the name.
Big Frida. Where's Big Frida at?
That's not too far.
I think I got Big Frida over here.
Yeah.
I think I got Big Frida over here.
It's right above that article with the trans person we just talked about.
All right, and by the way, Judge Mathis' son, while we talking about this, Judge Mathis' son had came out as what, gay or trans? What Judge Mathis son
came out as gay, and now it makes sense why Judge Mathis now has a reality show with his family.
I didn't even know he had a show.
Yeah, so this is he came out on their reality show, and so now this is news. We don't hear too much about Judge Mathis, but now that his son is gay, came out as gay, now he has a whole reality show with his wife and family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so this is Big Frida on some reality show with Slim Thug. Hopefully it doesn't open up another page.
Since we here,
okay,
I have a question. Okay, I'm gonna keep it 100. I've never been able to kick it with nobody like you, so I need to know the proper, pronouns and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm your Bristol, so
yeah,
I'm gender fluid. I don't have a pronoun.
Okay.
All of that's new age for me too.
Okay.
With the pronoun stuff. So, like with my homies in New Orleans, who I kick it with, who I grew up with, the hood boys, I'm their bro.
Oh, okay.
To my girls, I'm their sister.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
To my kids, straight and gay,
Yeah.
I'm their mom.
Yeah.
My sister, my blood sister, I'm her brother.
Okay.
And when she want to call me her sister, I'm her sister.
The Bristol.
Yeah. So
right.
It
got
really
you.
don't matter to me because I know who I am.
Really on the cool is just lack of knowledge. We don't know where to offend people. Now you know with a lot of stuff when you go hood, dude, just you know what I'm saying?
Our natural instincts, they sometimes be the wrong wording.
Exactly.
And they can offend people, but when you don't know, you don't know.
Being a gangster rapper, you don't really be around a lot of gay people or anything like that. So being in this house is definitely a different experience. So this gives me a chance to step out my box and, meet new people.
Fair use, by the way. I guess that's the BT shit. Fair use. We doing commentary on this.
Right, but I respect Big Frida for that because he's not offended by either, and like he said, that all that's new for me too. And obviously he's not adopting all of that. So whatever you call me, if you call me, him or bro, whatever, I'm not offended because I know what I am.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And that's how I know. That's how I know. We just using common sense logic because we ain't talk about this prior. And I agree with you. Like Big Frida is talking sense.
Right.
I'm used. Oh, appreciate you, Tori and Rain. Yes, sir. Stay tuned for the rest of that. By the way, that was just a clip. That's gonna be a full song. Revenge of the Akata. Revenge of the Akata. That's gonna be a full song on the new project. So stay tuned for that. By the way, but Big Frida is talking with sense. And logic. I'm used to that. Mm-hmm. I'm used to that. We never had no problem with gay dudes that get down like that. You know what I'm saying? They never had a problem in the hood, around black people, period. Because they always try to make it seem like we the most homophobic people in society and gay people ain't safe around straight black men and all this shit. Big Frida ain't never. Big Frida said, when I'm with the homies, they call me bro. I'm they bro. That's right. Niggas ain't gonna treat you like you a woman just because you got a wig on.
A wig on, and that was clearly a wig. That was clearly a wig, and Big Frida does not look like a woman.
Right. That's the bruh. That's the homie. No problem. No problem. You cool. No, you ain't trying to violate. You ain't trying to push your lifestyle onto niggas and all that. You cool. You come around. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, Frida? And Big Frida, that's the one that's on the Beyonce record, by the way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so I guess he's like a legend out there in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
That whole bounce, that New Orleans bounce sound and all that stuff. I guess been around for a while. But I don't have too much of a problem with what he was saying. I don't know what he meant by my kids. When he said,
I think that he has a lot of people around him, like in the neighborhood that he puts in his videos and stuff like that. And they do like they have those parades and stuff there. So he had a reality show a while back too, and so he referred to them as his kids. They had like a dance, I guess group, if you will, not a drill team, but something similar to that.
that New Orleans culture.
Yeah. So I think that when he says his kids, he's talking about them.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, I respect that. I respect that. You know what I mean? Just be who you are. Be comfortable in who you are. You know what I'm saying? And don't try to push it on other people. Ain't got nothing to do with us. Ain't got nothing to do with us. So yeah, shout out to Big Freedom. But yeah. So anyway, FBA is on trial. A lot of stuff been going on for the past week on Twitter. Like I said, ever since Tariq announced possibly having this rally down there in DC, it's like the Democratic think tanks and these leftist think tanks sent out the marching orders to all of these shills and to run out here and cause confusion or I don't know what they're trying to do. Uncle Luke out here having all types of disrespectful spaces. Roland Martin, a couple of other people who was pretending to be part of the grassroots.
But we've been calling that out for a while between the Godcast. We're not surprised at Donkey Mouth. You know what I'm saying? We've been kind of talking about this amongst ourselves for months. 4 months, you guys. So
we've hinted at it on the air.
For it to expose itself. So
right, we didn't go into detail, but we've talked about it on air with this Tara chick.
Yeah.
What's her name? Tara
Perry.
Tara Perry. Mm-hmm. So it was some months back. She was on Young Turk show, and she had a clip from the Young Turk show where she was talking about reparations that went viral.
Right.
Now, prior to that, I didn't know nothing about her. I didn't know who she was. But apparently she's been in a lot of these spaces, going, from what I'm hearing, going back to when everybody was on Clubhouse. Mm-hmm. She's been around all of these ADOS and Freedmen circles.
I think Uncle Mammy is her mama.
Yeah, I think so.
Uncle Mammy is her mama. Yeah.
Yvette Carnell gave birth to this one.
Yes.
This is one of her spawn. You know what I mean? And so anyway, when that clip went viral, when she was talking about reparations, everything that she said in the clip was on point.
Right.
Right. So we didn't know who she was, but we liked what she said in the clip. And so, we was in the middle of the first season of the Black Business Showcase. And so we were also bringing on reparations candidates to talk about their platform as well. So we reached out to Tara when that clip went viral. We found her social media. We reached out to her and invited her to come on the Godcast for an interview. And initially she was with it. She was like, "Oh yeah, let's figure out the schedule, blah, blah, blah." And then the communication just fell apart after that. You know what I'm saying? Like we were reaching back out, sending some potential dates that she could come on. It was just no response after that. So
she was responding to me. She was responding to me, but it would be like obviously the dates that we were doing was Wednesdays and Thursdays. Mm-hmm. Right. And so she will be like, "Oh, I have to do this at such and such." Now she's in Cali like myself. So she and I are on the same time zone. So she would kind of be like, "Oh, well, I have to do this show and that show." She wasn't doing shit, by the way. But anyway, she was just saying like, "Oh, I can only do 40 minutes." Okay, that's fine. And if you can't do Wednesday or Thursday, we can do a special edition. We're willing to work with you. So this is what I'm telling her. You know what I'm saying? If our schedule on Wednesdays and Thursdays do not work for you, we can make a special show for you to work around your schedule, whatever that date falls.
Which we've done for others
before. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, she was communicating with me, and so I made it so open for her. Well, what's your schedule? Then the communication went, because it was like no more excuses. You know what I'm saying? She had no more excuses to come up with, and so her communication dropped off after that.
Right, which has happened, a couple of times, because when we start doing the Black Business Showcase, we were basically just winging it, right? Mm-hmm. just looking at people that we seen on social media who had businesses who were doing certain things. We don't know these people, you know what I'm saying? We're not tapped in necessarily with them like that. We would just reach out to people to see if they want to come on to showcase their business. You know what I'm saying? And so there was a few times where we would reach out to certain people and it would start off promising, but then it seemed like they would look on our social media and then fall back. Like, oh no, they're going kind of hard. They look at some of the previous episodes and they see we B1 pro-black, uncompromising with the information. And some of them would get scared and be like, or it's just off brand for them. I won't even say scared. It might be off brand for them. That they ain't on that type of time, so they would just fall back. That has happened before. So it seemed like it was the same thing with Tara. She looked at our social media, looked at some of the previous episodes, and was like, nah, I ain't trying to go over there.
But we were here. She wasn't promoting a business, though. We weren't talking to her about business in this situation. We're talking about reparations. By this time, I believe we already had Marcel on, as well as Christopher Leggett, who was running out in Georgia as well. So we were coming. We wanted her on specifically to push reparations, you know, lineage-based reparations, and what she was doing here in California. So regardless to the other stuff that we were doing, reparations we've always pushed that forth. That's always been our message, tangible.
But what I'm saying is, knowing what we know now, she's had a problem with FBA. She's had a problem with, you know, Tariq. You know what I'm saying? And so when she looked at our stuff and she see that's what we on, I think that's what made the communication fall apart, and that's why she ended up not coming on. But from there, our antennas went up, and we mentioned it on the show a couple of times, and then down the line, she was in one of Tariq's spaces. This was a little while later, you know, after that whole, you know, communication fell apart. Some weeks later, maybe a month or so later, she was in one of Tariq's spaces and she got on the mic, and then she started talking about reparations being based on the transatlantic slave trade. And if we're saying that we are indigenous to this land, if we're saying we the foundation and we were here prior to the transatlantic slave trade, then that would disqualify us for the reparations claim. So it's dangerous to push that narrative, because you got people who are, you know, reclassifying themselves and not knowing that they're disqualifying themselves from the reparations claim. And so Tariq started roasting her on that space, and she pretty much been exposed ever since then.
But my thing is that still had nothing to do with our claim. Being the foundation, you know, of this country still doesn't negate the fact that we were enslaved in this country.
Right.
So I'm just like, what does that have to do with anything? And what I've noticed in the spaces last week is she kept talking about how many followers he has, how he is responsible for ADOS imploding. No, they imploded on themselves. You cannot make them responsible for that. From the beginning with FBA and ADOS, he's always used both FBA and ADOS kind of in unison. Like it's one and the same, if you will, if that's what you wanted it to be. But he was saying, you know, basically FBA cannot be remixed. That's he was just coming up with a name that could not be remixed. Either you're FBA, you're not. You know what I'm saying? And so he was giving, you know, Uncle Mammy, you know, their props, you know, when they were coming out, but it turned into something else.
Right.
And so even last week, she kept bringing up Yvette Carnell, you know, and Tariq, you know, basically being responsible for them imploding. Like, is that what you still hung up on? Because if you're no longer a part of that group that you have to pay what tithes and offerings and shit to be a part of, why do you care? Why do you care?
Right. And so, like you said, man, you know, we were all using the ADOS hashtag in the beginning because it seemed like they were talking about reparations based on our lineage. Right. I guess early on, Tariq, even though he was supporting what they were doing, he peeped that there was an issue with the term itself, with the hashtag itself. And so he came up with Foundational Black Americans. Now, if that was a problem, how come Dr. Claude Anderson doesn't have a problem? Because Dr. Claude Anderson was saying Native Blacks. And so same thing. Tariq peeped that there was a way for that term to be infiltrated.
Right.
And so he refined it to a more codified term of foundational Black Americans, but still talking about the same thing, still based on the same principle. It wasn't to undermine what Dr. Claude Anderson was doing. It wasn't to steal Dr. Claude Anderson's idea and co-opt his movement. It was just like, we need to refine this a little bit so that it's airtight.
Right.
And so if Dr. Anderson ain't mad, which, you know, the ADOS, they was trying to disparage Dr. Anderson and all that. So that's when they really exposed themselves, and everybody was like, fell back from them immediately. Like, hold on, you talking shit about Dr. Anderson? You way off code. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can understand some people got a problem with Tariq. You know what I'm saying? Because some people just don't like Tariq, his personality, the way he delivers, you know, the way he communicates or whatever. And so we can understand everybody ain't got to like everybody. That's fine. But when you got a problem with Dr. Anderson, you the problem.
You the problem. Didn't they also kind of have I don't know if it's a falling out, but with Sandy Darity?
Yeah, from what I understand, he fell back from them as well.
Yeah, because they're pushing this whole down ballot, you know, Democratic, you know, stuff. So that right there was a red flag, and, you know, threw antennas up too, because basically you guys are still Democratic shields and pushing Democratic, you know what I'm saying, messaging. You know what I'm saying? If the Democrats are not supporting reparations and not getting 100% behind lineage-based reparations, even on a local level, why are we voting for them?
Right.
Like, that did not make any sense. If they're not pushing what we need.
Right.
It made no sense. Even when she was talking crap, you know, about Marcel, it was like she was upset that this man had the balls.
Tara or...
Not Tara.
Yvette
had the ball and was upset with Marcel. I guess someone called in, was like, "Hey, why aren't you supporting Marcel?"
Oh yeah,
you know, with the clip that kind of went, why should I do this? It's like,
I'm
why
y'all's
are
mama.
you mad for someone pushing a reparations message if that's what you were about? It's something else. They gotta be.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, we said all of that just to say that we've been peep game with this Tara chick.
Yeah.
We really not surprised, but she's been getting drug all week. By the family. Shout out to y'all doing God's work out here. Shout out to y'all doing God's work out here. And I respect those of you who were rocking with her, because a lot of y'all were doing spaces with her and I guess working with her behind the scenes on certain things. Even Marcel said he has worked with her or whatever. And so those of y'all who, when it was time to separate from her, when it was evident that she was off code and she was on some other shit, and y'all came out and did the righteous dragging, shout out to y'all as well, because a lot of times people be aligned with certain people and they don't want to speak against it. You know what I'm saying? Right. But we have to be willing to cut those ties once we see that somebody is off code like that. So shout out to the family for getting her together. But also, there was a bunch of other spaces, like we said. Uncle Luke, talk about the Uncle Luke space nicely, that he did with Roland and all of the stuff.
So actually the space was with him and that Steven guy. That Steven guy. And again, there's still one thing. So Uncle Luke had the space. And while that space was going, there was some other chick in there, and I forget, but she's out of Florida as well, and she was co-hosting. And that Steven cat didn't come in till much later, probably 30 minutes to an hour later. And honestly, the space was rolling, you know, very well. And he actually, let me get this, because our sister Nikki the God actually caught it in real time, and I want to grab it. So he named his space initially something disparaging about FBA, and I forget the name, and I'm trying to look it up right now. And so Tariq ended up coming in the space and speaking, and it was a cool dialogue. You know what I'm saying? Everything was going good. It says, let's talk about the ignorant Negroes from FBA. That was the initial subject of his space initially. So everybody's in there. Yeah, this is 3 days ago.
What was the title? The subject?
The title was, let's talk about the ignorant Negroes from FBA. That's his title, right? And so
that's again trying to make FBA a group.
He's trying to make it a group, right?
Right.
And so everybody's in there, and Tariq decides to go in there while Tariq is speaking and engaging in his conversation, which he's all in agreement with, right? Showing no disrespect. He changes the title and put, "Let's talk about FBA." Mid-conversation, he knew he that. Why
Right.
didn't you leave it like it was?
And Luke does a lot of double speaking, depending on who he's talking to. You know what I'm saying? He's just a problem. He's just a problem, and his man is really, I don't know who the Steven dude is.
I don't either.
But
Well,
he
has a mentorship program out in Florida.
Who
So
gives
he
a
has
fuck?
a mentor
Shout out to your program.
Shout out to his program. Now, I'm in there. You know, I'm just there. I like to listen. Roland Martin brings his big husky ass in there, but only as a listener. No one is paying attention that he's there. But I took a screenshot and I start back in messaging, I think Nikki and stuff like that. Like, hey, Roland is up in here with his big husky ass, but he's way at the bottom. He's not saying anything. And I think they put him down in the bottom to begin with. So he didn't even announce himself. He never spoke in the space. It just goes to show that these Democratic shields are definitely on high alert. I believe that they're, trying to come together within their own offline to try and combat what it is that we're pushing, which is reparations. And they're working with the Democratic Party to do that.
Yeah, man. But hold on. Speaking of Roland Martin, man, why was y'all? I got to talk to y'all, FBA people. Some of y'all grassroots people, man. You know what I'm saying? Why was y'all snapping on my outfit, man?
I was so done with you.
Why was y'all talking shit about my outfit, man?
I hollered.
But who wore it better?
I hollered.
Listen, man, we chilling. We ain't chilling. We chilling, man. You know what I mean? Appetite, fire appetite. Yo, Tariq had me dying, yo. Tariq had me dying. And yo, I gotta
that had me hollering.
I gotta give a shout out to my man over at Rock Deep Global, man. Shout out to Rock Deep Global. Hold on a second.
The fact that he put this photo up, y'all, I screamed. I literally screamed, and I messaged him. I said, "I can't stand you." The fact that he did that. But that's the girl that was co-hosting the space before that Stephen Raccoon came in. Her name was Nikki. I can't see her last name or what other part of her name on there, but her name was Nikki, and she's based out of Florida as well. I don't know what it is that she does, but she said that she works, I guess, with different people, policy makers and stuff to try and, get policies passed or whatever for obviously everybody, not just specifically for FBAs.
All right. Hold on a second. We're gonna get back to the topic. I just wanna talk about these shoes for a minute. But shout out to Rock Deep Global. We had Rock Deep Global on the Black Business Showcase. Cool brother, black owned sneaker brand, a whole apparel company really, but mainly focused on shoes. So I don't know how Roland Martin made these shits look like they got kitten heels on them.
Man.
I don't know how he made them look like that. but we had to roast Roland Martin and give him that work. But I ain't want Rock Deep to get caught up in the crossfire when it came to that. But shout out to Rock Deep. These are the shoes. These are the shoes right here. They called the Mansa Musa. These are the Mansa Musa from Rock Deep. You know what I mean? I wear these at the gym. They mad comfortable. You know what I'm saying? A good quality joints, very comfortable. And
Roland
I wear these.
Couldn't do it. Roland couldn't swag them right. It didn't work.
Yeah. I was just clowning. I was just clowning because Tariq had me dying on his broadcast when he was roasting him. And so I went and wrote that on a paper towel. I wrote that Alpha Phi Alpha shit on a paper towel. and just pulled my shorts all the way up to my chest. And took the picture real quick, just the clown rolling, man. But
oh my God, that was hilarious.
Back to the subject, man.
But yeah, what's his name? Luke. Remember, I asked Luke, I guess about a month ago or so, and he went off on me. He snapped on me. I asked him initially because I started paying attention to a lot of spaces. I'm just in there chilling. I'm listening, to what it is he's saying. And so one day I messaged him. I said, "Who sent you?" He ignored it, so he has another space, with a bunch of off code, tethers up in there. So I messaged him again. I said, "I asked you once, so I'm going to ask you again. Who sent you?" And he goes on a whole tyrant and goes off on me on Twitter. "I don't know who you think you is. My paperwork, I got a youth football team and blah, blah, blah." So I was like, "Well, I didn't ask you about your youth team. Nigga, I said, who sent you?" So he didn't respond back to that. But yeah, and actually in that same space that we're talking about that happened 3 days ago, there was this sister in there who came in and talked about, his messaging and stuff like that. And so he was like, "Well, first of all, what do you identify as? What are you? What are you?" And she was just like, "Well, I identify as me. I'm foundational Black American. I'm American descendant of slave, whatever. I'm not an immigrant, or whatever." And so she was like, kind of telling him, like, "You said something that I kind of want to push back on a little bit, blah, blah, blah. First of all, you ain't coming on my motherfucking show. I do what the fuck I want." He just goes off on this sister in the most disrespectful way. It was so aggressive. He was cussing her out, and she never really got a chance to say what it was that she disagreed with. And I think that he just didn't want her to expose it or whatever, and he dropped her, kicked her out of the space. And I actually left at that point because I was so disturbed by it. And it was funny because someone also put a message up about one of the past members of Two Live Crew that said how he witnessed how he will always go off on women but never men, and how he was abusive to his wife but never a man that would step up to him about something. He will back down, but a woman he'll go in on. And I witnessed that.
And one of the dudes from Two Live Crew put that out there.
One of the dudes from Two Live Crew. There's a video out there right now on Twitter that talks about how aggressive he has always been with women, how he was abusive to his, I don't know if it's his ex-wife or current wife, but he would never get aggressive with a man, ever.
Wow.
When she popped off.
Wow, okay. Okay, Uncle Luke. Mm-hmm. Okay, Uncle Luke. Now, so what happened with Teslin? Because I missed that too.
So Teslin comes in or whatever. She's just listening. So Tariq, does his thing. He says what he says. Again, at this point, that Stephen dude was only in there maybe 5-10 minutes, listening to Tariq. He tried
I heard Tariq.
Yeah, he tried to cut him off several times, but Uncle Luke was saying, "Hey, let him, give out what he's gonna say." And so Tariq was like, did what he did. And he says, "Oh, I see my sister Teslin in here. She may want to come up here and say something. She's a strategist, blah, blah." He leaves it on. "You guys have a good day." So Teslin comes on or whatever. And so she's just like, I hear a whole lot about, what FBA is, what Tariq is doing, blah, blah, blah. She's like, "But I have a question to Stephen. What it is you're doing? Because we heard about your mentor, program with boys, and I hear that. That's great. I know the founder of that. I'm saying that's a good thing. But you're worried about if Tariq is reaching out to, people within the Senate or the House or the president or whatever. What are you doing? Because you sure are worried about what this man is doing. What are you doing specifically?" And so this fool, she's like, "And I want to know what you're doing and who you called out publicly. And I want to see receipts, because I'm going to put my receipts in the Jumbotron about who I call out publicly, and things that have been written up on me going off or, questioning things publicly." This nigga put up something talking about, "Well, I have an article or spoke to some people at the Root." The Root, y'all.
Not the Root. Not the Root.
The Root. So he couldn't handle Teslin either, or whatever. The space ended up. So she says, "I'm gonna, we ain't done. Looks like I gotta go. We not done. I'm gonna hold a space right now, Stephen. I'm calling you to the floor. I'm calling you to the floor, Stephen." So Teslin opens up her space. Everybody flocks over there. He's all the way in someone else's space. So myself, Lioness Crown, Nikki the God, several of us are all over there tagging him. Everybody from that space start tagging him like, "Yo, you said that you was coming over here to speak with our sister Teslin. You running, bring your ass." It took him about a good 30 minutes to finally come over there and chop it up with her. She got him to admit that he does agree with lineage-based reparations for violation of Black Americans. So why the pushback though? Well, I just want to know if it's a group, and she was just kind of getting on him about, what you're intentionally doing, and you're trying to, put a target on Tariq's back, and that's not cool.
Right, and that was the other thing. That was the other thing, because everybody is trying to, all of these people, these shills are trying to make Tariq out to be the leader. The man has said over and over again. I mean, even before all of this FBA conversation started, you could go back a decade from Tariq's broadcast. As long as I've been listening to him, he's been saying, "I ain't nobody's leader.
Right.
The leadership is the code.
And they
I don't have an organization. I don't have an organization. I don't have no chapters, and there's no movement. I'm just a nigga with an opinion." You know what I'm saying?
And word about his followers, first of all, he's a filmmaker. He's an author. He's also a musician. Why wouldn't he have over 300,000 followers? I'm just saying he has.
Nobody gave it to him.
Right. He has the most successful documentary series, right? Ever. So why wouldn't he have as many followers as he has? I mean, it just didn't make sense. And they all were harping on the fact that he has so many followers. He has influence. He's an influencer. That's what they call a lot of people that, push brands and stuff like that, influencers. Well, he can be an influencer. We can roll with that. He's a historian. We know that.
Again, like I said, nobody gave it to him. He built his brand. He built his audience and his following from the ground up. And, anybody can do that just by being valuable, being consistent, and being credible. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can do that. And the reason why a lot of people don't do that is because they're not credible and because they're not valuable. They don't bring no value to the table, and they have no credibility. And so therefore they can't build a sustainable audience. You know what I'm saying? And so that's all you.
Not bought either by the Democrats. The Democrats has not purchased him, so he doesn't have to go on his platform and spew any of their talking points to get a buck. He's self-made. Versus a lot of them are not self-made. They make their money from donations from the Democratic Party to push on our people, Roland Martin, because he's also made a video himself talking about how Joe Biden hadn't given, certain resources to Black media, meaning himself. You know what I'm saying? And he started breaking down how much money other people within media have gotten, and he didn't get his cut.
Right. And this is not about us sitting here trying to defend Tariq. Tariq can fight his own battles. He's very capable of doing so. My thing is, it's disparaging to us when y'all say shit like that. I'm insulted when y'all say shit like that because Tariq is not my leader.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I rock with the man. I respect the man. You know what I'm saying? And I've gotten a lot of valuable information from the man. That's why I'm tapped in with him. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see us here echoing his talking points. You know what I'm saying? Using the language that he's gifted to us along with others. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Professor Black Truth, Jason Black. You know what I'm saying? They have given us the language to put together the narratives in order to counter what's being thrown at us out here. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make them the leader. You know what I'm saying? And so you're trying to make it seem like we can't think, like we're just minions and robots out here who can't think for ourselves, and we're just following behind whatever Tariq does or says. And that's just not the case. So I'm insulted by that. I'm defending my damn self. But when we're sitting up here saying this, it's not about trying to defend Tariq. He can defend himself.
Well, Roland does call us dumb MFers all the
Right.
time, and so my thing is he's upset because at the end of the day, a lot of Black people have listened to and followed Roland, and where has that gotten Black people?
Some old Negroes.
Yes, but the thing is, these old Negroes have followed you to where? Because we're still economically, socially, right, in the same conditions, and you're still saying barking the same freaking thing. Nothing has changed in his message. You're still saying, go to the polls, go to the polls, go to the polls. When the fuck has Black people not gone to the polls?
And I just want to say, when all of this first started trending, FBA started trending and all that, and I was seeing all these rooms pop up with people saying FBA is a hate group and all of this stuff. My first thought was, and I put a tweet out there too. Let me see if I can pull my tweet up.
That was the Democrats.
Right. Definitely that. But my initial thought was, and I want to read my tweet. Hold on one second. I've been tweeting a lot lately, so I gotta scroll down here. Y'all got me tapped in on Twitter now.
And it's a lot of minions, Big Tigger,
Oh man, yes.
Brought his wide nose ass out here talking to. I'm just saying, like, they're trying to bring everyone on because he's been silent pretty much about this topic, so I guess in their minds, they're bringing out the heavy hitters. They're bringing out their heavy hitters.
That's hilarious.
It is. It really is.
Where's my damn tweet? But anyway, I was basically saying that a lot of this confusion. Damn, I want to read that tweet. Hold on a second. Okay, I said the problem is we have too many people on this app using hashtag FBA and putting their own agenda on top of it. And then the tethers and the bootlegs use that nonsense to belittle the true FBAs who are righteously checking everyone who is off code, regardless of lineage. So that I think that's a major problem. We have a lot of people who got FBA in their bios, who are hashtagging FBA, who are jumping in a lot of these spaces, saying a lot of off-code shit that we ain't saying. And I believe those people are sent as well. I believe these are operatives. This is COINTELPRO in action. You know what I'm saying? Because even in some of Luke's spaces, there was people jumping up on this saying that they were FBA, and they did start saying some crazy shit. And it's like they intentionally sound ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they talking like they dumb on purpose in order to portray this picture of this is what FBA is. This is the representative for FBA. These are your elementary Negroes who are out here saying tangibles and reparations and all of this stuff. This is them.
There was this mushmouth Sambo on there who also called himself FBA, and out his mouth said in that space that Black Americans are not financially destitute. We're not economically behind. I was like,
I saw that too.
Who sent you? Who sent your ass?
Like, I seen that too. I'm like, huh? What you mean by that?
Yeah.
We got it going on.
That's how you know. Anytime someone, especially in these FBA spaces, especially when you're using B1 hashtags, FBA hashtags, but you're talking non-FBA talking points.
Right.
Up.
You saying that these guys are misleading us because they're making us believe that we don't got nothing when we really do. And I heard somebody else actually, I think it was on one of Tahaka Bay's episodes, one of the guys that he was talking to. He said something like that also that kind of threw me off. He was like, people out here saying Black people don't own no businesses, but I live in a district where there's several Black businesses and all of that. And it's like, okay, we know there's Black people out here who are business owners. We do the Black Business Showcase. We interview them every week. We know that, but what do we really own of any significant consequence?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What industry do we control as a group. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody has to come to us for something that is a need.
Right.
Where we can sustain ourselves with our essentials without going outside of our community. We don't have that. And that's a problem. Other people have that.
They know this, though. These people know this. You know what I'm saying? A Black-owned fish frying company, you know, I don't necessarily need that. But, you know, if I want to go get some fried fish outside of cooking it at home because I don't feel like it, do I need that? No.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
we know there's Black businesses out there. We go out our way to support them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna find somebody Black to do my taxes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'll find Black-owned clothing brands that I'm going to support and wear their gear and their shoes and all of that shit.
But
you know
my thing is too, the Black businesses that we're talking about are also small Black businesses.
Right.
You know, it's a difference.
Right. We're not trying to just be getting by. We're trying to take over. Right. That's the thing. That's the thing. That's what we mean when we say Black empowerment. That's what we mean when we say liberation. Meaning we don't have to depend on other people for our daily bread. You know what I'm saying? We don't own no energy companies.
No.
You know what I'm saying? We don't control no water supply. You know what I mean? We ain't got no satellites up there that, you know what I'm saying, where we could get our own signals and communications and all of that shit popping. We don't have that, and we need that.
No.
We're going to need that.
We don't even have our own distribution companies.
You know what I'm talking about?
You know
We're going to need that.
Dominate music. We don't even own distribution.
We're going to need that. We're going to need a piece of this earth. We're going to need to control a significant portion of the airwaves. You know what I'm saying? Anything that it takes to have a nation, we're going to need that. And right now, we ain't got that. And so that's a problem. So we're not comfortable with that. And we're not comfortable being at the mercy of our open enemy for all of those things.
And as the foundation of this country, our ancestors building America, because there was no America before our ancestors built it. Yeah, we're going to need that.
Right.
We're going to need that. Tariq made a good point. Where can you go here in America? I don't care what part of America that you're in, that you're not utilizing something that our ancestors built, the street light.
Facts.
Electricity. I'm just saying, you know, shit like simple as mac and cheese. You know what I'm saying? Ranch dressing. I mean, we can go to the most simplest things, and then we can go to the biggest things. What is it that we're using here that foundational Black Americans did not create?
Yeah.
We're going to need our piece of the pie.
We're going to need that.
And not even a piece. We need the pie. We need the pie.
Everything that they owe. And so, man, we've been on here for a minute. Good conversation, like always. I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too. I haven't eaten yet. I've been running around all morning. I thought I was going to be late. I'll give my mani-pedi. I'm going to a wedding next weekend. My friend is getting married. So I don't have
that mani-pedi ain't gonna last till next weekend.
No, it has to, because listen, y'all. So I find out from my neighbor that senior pictures is this month. So they supposed the school mailed everybody's appointments out. They make them for you. I had no idea. And so my neighbor comes over and like, oh, you know, my boys took their senior pictures. When does your son take his? And I'm like, first of all, he just left 11th grade. School hasn't started yet. I'm thinking this is later in the year. And she was like, no, we did ours today, you know? And I'm like, I didn't get anything. So she gives me their number. I call and they're like, yeah, his appointment is on woo-woo. I'm like, well, I didn't get nothing. So nonetheless, all of that is happening next week. So my son is getting his haircut by your boy on Tuesday. On Tuesday, then he has to go get his retwist for his locks. Pictures is on Wednesday. I have a hair appointment on Thursday, and I'm flying out of town on Friday morning, 7 a.m. So only time I had to do it was today or tomorrow. So I was just like, forget it. I'll just do it today. I'll be okay.
That's
what's
up.
Right. Yeah. I just got it on my plate.
Shout out to Double R Blends.
Yeah.
Where he at the OC? You say he in the OC, right?
Yeah, so he actually does 2 locations, Orange County and LA. So I booked this one the location that he was going to be at for my time slot that I needed. So it'll be in the Orange County, Santa Ana. And my nephew's wife has a salon in Santa Ana as well. So I'm familiar with the area.
And he nice too. He don't hook y'all up.
Oh yeah. So I got that and pictures. So I'm like only working 4 hours every day. Well, not every day. Tomorrow full day, but Tuesday and Wednesday I'm only working till 10 in the morning because I have to, run around with this Negro. He wants to do not just the cap and gown pictures. He wants to do the personality photos. We haven't done any shopping, nothing, so I got like so much on my plate this week and then flying out of town.
And so you won't be with us next Sunday.
I will not be with y'all next Sunday because I'm not coming back till that evening.
That's cool.
Trying to make the most of it.
I'm gonna still be here for the family. I'm gonna still be here. If anybody, as a matter of fact, if anybody is interested in being my guest co-host, hit me up. Anybody wants to be the guest co-host to fill in for my sister next week, hit me up. Let me know. See what we could do. But I'll definitely be here. So make sure y'all tap in next Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time, like we always do each and every Sunday. Again, you guys make sure that you are following me. I'm at SincereluvdagodCast on all social media platforms. Make sure y'all tap in with me on your favorite music platforms as well, your favorite streaming platforms. The Spear and the Shield is available. Plandemic is available. Got some new music coming as well. Me and my brother DJ RP Beats are in the kitchen making it happen. We got some dope shit coming, some dope collaborations coming up. So stay tuned for that. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
You guys can find me on Twitter at nyctegur and all other platforms, nyctegur with a number 1. So Instagram, nyctegur with a number 1. And my album will be dropping next year. I'm trying to build my confidence, you guys. So I don't know what it looks like or what it appears, but I'm super nervous speaking. I really am. And I have been approached many times with people trying to do some of the Twitter spaces. I'm just not comfortable yet. I'm scared. I don't know of what. I don't know. I
ain't gonna lie. I'm that way with the Twitter spaces too for some reason. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit better with it, but I'm much better right here. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in my comfort zone over here. For some reason on the Twitter spaces, that's why I be in and out.
Yeah.
I'll be in and out. I'll be listening for the most part. I'll catch the gist of the conversation, try to get the context of what everybody's talking about, and then I'll slide. I don't need to hear everybody's take on it and everybody's opinion on it because them spaces be going on for hours.
Long. They be going long. I've spoken on some Twitter spaces before, but I have to be mad to do it. Like someone has to say something just completely like, what the like I have to say something. Because I'm like literally screaming at my phone half the time I'm listening, and I'm like, no, this motherfucker, like I'm doing this shit. So sometimes I'm like, I can't help it, and then I'll hit like I'm nervous as shit when I'm doing it, but I have to be pushed to do it. Someone has to say something that's just completely off code, and it just impels me to say something like because I'm yelling at my phone the whole time. But I don't have the confidence, I guess, to either host or co-host yet. I haven't gotten there.
Well, you do a great job on here. We can't tell.
No.
We can't tell at all. Shout out to the Black Grassroots, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We looking forward to October. Hopefully I get to meet all of y'all, a lot of y'all in person. We'll be linked up for this DC rally. You know what I'm saying? Definitely looking forward to that. What else? That's about it, man. That's about it, man. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. Me tap in with me on TikTok, man. I just hit 1,000 followers on TikTok. I'm up to 1,000 followers on TikTok. I went live today for the first time. I'm still learning it, but it's growing. I'm getting some action over there. So make sure y'all tap in with me on TikTok. I'm gonna be putting a lot more content over there as well. Other than that, we will see y'all next week, man. Remember, like we always tell y'all though, we're not the master teachers, but we are the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media, though. Believe that. And so peace and Black love.
Peace, y'all.
Do for self or suffer the consequences. The wisdom of privileges inside of the conscientious. So I move.